We are live up in the corner.
Yay.
Exciting stuff. Should we just wait until we see an eyeball? You see if you see an eyeball. Harris is here, he's just doing my...
Yeah,
Two eyeballs at the same time. Good morning to the first two viewers and good morning to everybody else. I hope you're well today. Yucky, yucky day out there.
Yeah, it's raining.
It's raining and we were cheated from snow yesterday.
Yep.
We were promised snow, we never got snow. We were quite upset, weren't we, in the Cupcake house? Yeah. So how are you all today? Are you having a nice Wednesday? Everybody's okay?
3 more game.
Pardon?
3 more.
3 more until what?
We got 3 more.
Oh, we've got 3 more viewers. I meant 3 more until the weekend, because that's what I'm thinking. Right, I hope you're all well today. It's nice to see you all. Hello Emma. Good morning. It's nice to see you virtually, of course. I miss seeing your face in real life. Hopefully not much longer. And hello Baxter. Nice to see you today. And you both did excellent work last week. Goodness gracious me. Good morning, Jamie. Nice to see you, Jamie. I mean, last week was that tartan lesson, and oh my goodness, I was blown away by the results. You worked very hard. Now, the good news is, today is not as tricky. And in fact, it's the opposite of tricky. It's really, really good fun. The hardest thing for today is to have a good imagination. And that's what I struggle with. Because I'm a big, boring grown-up. You guys have all got brilliant imaginations, so you're going to love this. It's a little bit messy, so before we get started, I just want to double check at home that you've covered the table, that you are not necessarily wearing your best clothes. So if you've got your party dress on, go and tweak it off. That you have maybe got a paint shirt on, but you don't have to, but you know, it would be helpful. So you'll need to have those sorts of things covered first of all before we even do the resource check. Okay? Right. If you're all set to go, I'll explain what we're going to be doing today. So today, it's Chinese New Year next week. So I was trying to think, I think it was actually you, Jamie, that asked to do a Chinese New Year lesson.
We got 10 now.
10, you've got lots of yours now. So, and Kate's watching as well. Hello, Kate. I think it was actually Jamie in my primary 2 class at Dunbarton Primary School that had asked to do a Chinese New Year lesson. So, Jamie, this one's for you. So, I don't know if you've seen these guys, these dragons. I posted some pictures of them on the Facebook page. So, if you're lucky enough to ever see a Chinese parade, Chinese New Year type, you might see something a little bit familiar like this. We went to one, was it last year we went to see the light show? Down at the river?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we saw one then, it came from Perth and it came through, maybe the year before actually. But they're really long, but the most important thing, the bit that I love, are the faces. The faces. Okay, so today we're going to create one of these dragon faces. Oh, Isla's on. I'm breaking off for a minute because I've just noticed that Isla's on, and Isla's got her little brother with
It's not
one of my...
last year, it was 2019.
Bit rude, is interrupting me? It was 2019? Okay. Right, anyway, hello Isla, and your little brother Harris. I hope he's not as cheeky as this Harris. Another Harris is joining you today. Oh, the face is on. Oh dear, he doesn't like jokes. Right, so we are going to focus on the dragon's face today. Okay. Now, resources, things that you're going to need. You are going to need, first of all, a piece of paper. Now, if you've got one, go really big, okay? We're going kind of small, just because if I had 2 big pieces of paper here, we'd be fighting over the space. But if you're at home, I don't see what it's looking like at home. And for example, Sophie's on. Sophie, I'm assuming you're by yourself right now, so you've got loads of space around you. So if you want to, go really big with this. We're going A3, just because our paper would be overlapping, and plus we want to try and keep it a little bit tidy. So we're not going as big as I would like, but I would like to see you guys go a little bit bigger if you can. And if not, A3 is totally fine. So you need a piece of paper, okay? You need at least 3 colours of paint. If you want to go more, great, but that's more clean up time. 2 would work, 1 would be alright, but really you want to go 3. Now we have kept things simple today by going over the primary colours. So we've gone for red, and we've got a matching red spoon. I'm going to move these guys out of the way just now. we've gone for, thank you Harris, we've gone for yellow. And we've gone for blue. So these are called the primary colours. Okay, they're really important. When you mix them all together, you end up with brown. But if you mix two at a time, you end up with the secondary colours. So let's do a quick recheck. Red and yellow gives us
Orange.
Yellow and blue gives us
Green.
well done. Red and blue gives us
Purple.
excellent. Well done. I hope you did that at home as well. So these are our primary colours. I've gone for that just because when they mix, they then create all the other pictures. Now you might the colours in. Now you might have noticed in the background of the picture. This is actually my little girl Mirren. She had a wee go at this last night when we were just practising. She's only 3, so if you have got a little brother or sister who's in nursery or younger, they would love this activity as well. They might need a little bit of help, but they'll still love it. A little bit, tiny bit. Mirren needed a little bit of help. I made the unicorn horn for her. But the rest she did by herself, and I think she did a good job. Yeah. So, paint, paper. And that's really the only things you need to get the splodgy bit done. The rest of it is totally up to what you have at home. Please don't go out and buy things. Just find what you've got kicking about. So, oh my goodness, in our house we've got quite a lot of stuff kicking about. We've got this box here, this is our craft box. So in here we've got pom-poms, we've got pipe cleaners, we have got tissue paper, we've got goggly eyes. I redid my baking cupboard and found some cupcake case covers.
Hey, we got
which are
3
great.
more.
Oh, cool. We've got leftover from Christmas time some curling ribbon, which will be great for the bottom of the dragon. So that box is jam-packed full.
We
Okay.
also got some glue.
We have got some runny glue. Please don't tip upside down. We've got some runny glue instead of the Pritt Stick glue. Purely because when you stick these things on, this dries clear, but also your painting's going to be wet, so you're not going to be able to use a glue stick. If you leave it to dry, then use a glue stick, but ideally you want PVA glue. What you might be tempted to do at home is when you've got your splodge done, you might start sticking all of your craft things on, and it looks great, and they stick for a few minutes, but as the paint starts to dry, they just fall off. Okay, so you will need a little bit of adhesive as well, so either wait for it to dry, then use a glue stick, or while it's wet, use the PVA glue. Okay, so we've got glue and we've got a glue spreader. I could only find one of these, so we're going to have to share it. And also in my little pot here, I've got loads of different pens. So we've got some Sharpies, I've got scissors, I've got my favourite thing in the whole wide world for art, my chalk pens. If you've been tuning in, you know how much I love those. We've also got over near Harris, we've got a big box full of tissue paper that we could rip bits off, and there's some craft paper there as well that we could use.
And lastly, some oil pastels.
We've got some oil pastels as well. I know you've probably not got those at home, but they give a really, really nice effect as well. So we've got loads of stuff for chucking on the end, but please don't feel that you have to have all that. To be honest, you can just do this with a black pen. Right. Hi Toby, nice to see you. Sorry, I am blind as a bat, so I keep leaning forward to these comments. The screen's quite far away. So if I miss a comment and I don't say hello, hello. Right, and when I'm busy, by the way.
2 of them left.
Oh, that's okay, that's okay. People coming in and out. It's probably Granny and Grandad seeing that you're behaving. Right, let's get going. Okay, so I'm going to move these out of the way just now just in case they get painted. Oh, my favourite as well, baby wipes. Harris has already got one for his hands. Right, first things first. Oh, by the way, this is a really, really fast one today. Last week went on for ages. This week you'll be pleased to know I'll be out your face in about 20 minutes time. Right, first things first. Have your paper landscape. So this is portrait, this would fit a face, but this is perfect for creating a landscape. So that's why we call it landscape. So you've got your paper landscape direction. Thank you, Harris, for demonstrating so well. Now what we're going to do is we're going to fold it in half. Now I find folding really tricky. I'm going to show you a wee tip. Now we want it to be folded down the middle, like a book. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to turn it portrait just for a second. And what I'm now going to do is I'm going to take one corner and I'm going to bring the corner. Harris, could you start doing what I'm doing?
Okay.
We're going to start bringing the corner up to the top corner and then they're going to meet, they're going to really hug. Then I'm going to find my right hand side corner, it will be left on the screen. I'm going to do the same thing now. Holding that down really tightly. I'm going to bring that up and hold it in place. Now what I'm going to do with my fingers is I'm going to slowly tippy toe into the middle. Okay? And keeping one hand down, I'm going to lift the other one up. I'm now going to, with one finger, draw an imaginary line down. Okay? Then I'm going to bring the other hand down, really slowly, and then I'm going to go crease. Crease, you did a lovely job. Well done. And crease. Okay. So if you find folding tricky, because sometimes we fold it and it ends up being squint, that's a good tip for you. Corner, corner, tippy toe, down, down, across, across. And you end up with a perfect symmetrical piece of paper. Symmetrical, that's a big word. That's a big maths word. This is what our pictures will look like today. They'll be symmetrical. Do you know what symmetrical means?
It means the same on both sides.
It means the same on both sides. Okay. Right. So open up your paper now. Now on one side, it's up to you, go left or right. My lefty will probably go left, I'll probably go right. I want you to start splodging some paint. Now I just want you to see what I do first, and then I want you to go away and do it. So I'm going to take the lids off our paints. Hands, try to help me take the lids off the paints, but don't put the spoons in just yet. Okay. And don't mix your spoons up, otherwise it will all turn into that yucky brown colour that I said would happen if you mix all three colours. Okay, now I've added, this paint was a little bit thick, it's been lying in our cupboard for quite a while, no, not blue yet. So this paint's been in the cupboard for quite a while, so I added a little tiny little drop of water just to give it a good consistency. Because you want it to be quite runny, you don't want it to be really thick, because it'll take forever to dry. Okay, so now I'm going to do on one side, and I'm going to try and not put it too close to the bottom or close to the top, because when you turn your paper over and splodge, it all comes smearing out the bottom. So what you're going to try and do is on one side, just put some blobs of paint. Now I know it's tricky, not with that, with the spoons. I know it's tricky, but try and think about half of a dragon's face. So try and think about the shape of that dragon's face when you're blobbing your paint down. Okay, so try and imaginally draw that. So I'm going to put one up at the top. Do you want to swap? Thank you. Just blobbing paint on one side. And if you end up with a little splash, if the spoon drips and leaves a few wee more lines, don't panic. Oh, like just happened to Mrs. C there. In fact, let's do it on purpose. Okay, and I'm just going to put another blob. We've got a little bit of mixing happened here. I don't know how we're going to get some blue and yellow. Put a little blob there. The yellow's a bit runny. Okay, right, so you're just doing some blobs. That's all you're doing. Now I'll wait until my wee Harris is finished, and then I'll show you what to do next. I'll do a few more. Don't leave your spoon on the paper. Look what's happened. That can be a blob, precisely. It's not the end of the world. We cut Miriam's out yesterday because she got her hands involved, and we had handprints all over, and you couldn't really see the dragon's face anymore, so we actually cut the shape of it out. So that's another choice that you could do at the end. Right, are you happy? Have you got enough blobs? I think you could do with one or two more. You've not got very many. I don't think I can see that hold. The problem with today's lesson is I can't hold this up to show you. Normally I would like to hold the work up to show you, but if I hold this up just now, it's just going to go woo. So I hope you can see that okay. So it's just a few blobs. Don't do too much. It's amazing how quickly this will spread. And the good thing is, if you splodge it once, and when you open it and decide you don't like it, you could do a few more and then do it again. Okay? Right, so here's the fun bit. So we're now going to shut that, and we're just going to, with our hands, imagining that we're giving Mrs. C a lovely back rub. We're just going to rub our hands over all that paint. And hopefully you listened, and you didn't do it too close to the top and the bottom, and it's not now splurting out. If it is, don't worry about it. Miriam's went right down to the bottom as well. Right, so we're just going to give it a nice rub. That'll mix it all up. Harris, I think you need to give it a bit more of a rub. Rub it like you're rubbing my back. Hope you don't rub my back like that once we're finished. Creepers. I'm going to try and get these splodges on it. If you're lucky, you can actually fully see the paint coming through the paper. The shade of it. That's it. Now the thing is, with this activity, you never know what you're going to end up with when you open it up. So you're either going to love this, or you're going to hate it. Now, if I just show you Harris's just now, I did worry at the beginning that he didn't have enough splodges on. So what he's now going to do is on one side just put in a few more dots of paint where there's paint missing and do the process again. Right, I'm going to open open mine up and see what I've got now. I don't know. I don't know. This is when I have to start using my imagination. So I've ended up with that. Ooh. So it could go in that direction, or I could turn it over and have it in that direction. Oh look, you see? They look like eyes to me, and this could be its nose, and these could be where his whiskers are going out of. That could be his horns or his ears. Or we could have things coming out of there. Wow. Now let's see how we have getting on. Okay? Did you add more? But nice rub. Rub. Stop for a minute. Rub the paint, because then that will make it will merge. Love that word. Merge. And if you just go like that, all that happens is you end up with two big thick lumps of paint. It doesn't actually spread.
Whoa!
I know. I'm really excited about that. I didn't expect that to happen. Right, now what have we got this time? You might need to still put a little bit more in the middle.
I know that's good.
It's better, but we've still... Ooh, I see a face, do you? I see eyes, eyebrows. Kind of reminds me of a face. Right, this time what I want to do is put some splodges right in the middle, near your crease. Lots of people think I'm mad having the kids do these lessons with me, and maybe I am, but I like it because it helps me connect with you guys at home, so I know probably what's happening at home right now. So you might have a similar situation going right now. It was very helpful when we were doing the paper weaving last week. Let's give that a nice rub. That's if you're in the room. You've probably disappeared right now. I would have done. Right, there we go. Look, you can see it's coming through now. Big sponge. Okay? Right, I think you've got it this time. I don't know what you're going to come up with though. Wow! Oh, look at that one. Look at that one. Oh yes, I totally see eyeballs there. So you could have that goggly eyes and stuff. Right, I'm gonna, before we have an accident.
I think I want to look like this butterfly thing.
We're not making butterflies though.
Oh.
But this is a great lesson for if you do want to do butterflies in future. These make beautiful butterfly pictures. And look at the symmetry you've got. That would be impossible to do if you just try to draw it. Too tricky to work out all the maths there. Right, I'm just going to put the lid on these paints before somebody tips them over. Make them on the wash later. Mr. C can do that after. Right, let's get the glue ready. Okay, if you don't mind, without sounding too much like I'm doing blue Peter on you right now, I'm going to put this one to the side because I can't really demonstrate what to do next if it's still wet. Can't hold it up, it's just going to keep dribbling. You guys at home can do that. Harris, can you pass over the one that's dry over at the top of the table, please? It's just up there. Thank you. Yes, go over. That's the one that I did earlier. That one there to dry. Thank you, sweetheart. So this is, without saying too blue Peter, she does it completely. Is one that I did earlier. And again, I didn't know what I was going to end up with. It's on a bigger bit of paper, but already I'm seeing somewhere that could be eyes. And in fact, when I created it, it was actually upside down, which does look a bit like a butterfly has. I turned it that way because I could see a definite face in it. So we've got sort of like, I could imagine that being the centre of the dragon's face. In there, they are crying out to become eyes. Got some ears, got some horns. Let's go for it. Why are you getting paint out? You want to add more? We'll use the spoon, don't use the blue spoon. Right, this is when I'm expecting you guys to be having lots and lots of fun. So none of these dragons are going to look exactly the same. They're all going to look different. Our gallery at the end of this is going to look phenomenal because I'm assuming that you've all used different colours. Maybe you've used a different colour of paper in the background, and you've definitely probably ended up with different shapes than us. And you've probably got different materials at home, so let's see what we can do and then send me your photos when we're done.
Look at the border.
That's lovely. Right, so first things first, mine's quite dry now, so the first thing I'm going to have to do is obviously make a mouth. Mirren didn't do that yet, it's just a line. We want to get a white mouth. So I'm going to cut some paper off the edge of this. Some white paper here. Off the edge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut myself some big triangles out of this paper. Thanks. We are so lucky right now. I know it doesn't feel like it, but in lockdown, this is a lesson I could not physically do in the classroom. not with 25 penny ones. As lovely as you all are, could you imagine the mess we'd all be in? This would definitely have to be of the activity that we did at our tables, that you could come and choose from. So maybe Mrs. Camp, Mrs. Anderson and Mrs. Drysdale could do this, but Mrs. C, nah. It would be carnage. So that's why I am actually secretly quite liking being able to share these lessons with you, because they're lessons that I can't normally do. Let's look at this. Okay, so we've got them out. Yeah. You alright? So what are you going to do? How are you going to change it? How are you going to make it look like a dragon now? Because at the minute, no disrespect, it just looks like splodges. So does mine. So how are we going to change this into a dragon? So my dragon's now got a mouth. And you can use some of my paper if you want, honey. See if you can chop up your picture. And how about we get in here by making some eyes? In fact, where did you sneak? You put oil pastels in, didn't you? Cool. So where did I see that? Like the eyes people, you could take a look here. So let's make this an eye socket. Oh, my dragon's eyes. I'm going to shape that in a bit. Of course it's going to have a goggly eye in a second. Or I could cut out my own eye shape. Sometimes using maybe too many gogglies, maybe I should do one more. I'll show you a wee tip on how to make a symmetrical eye quickly. Fold paper in half, just a strip. Get your scissors, that's stolen the good ones. And just cut out a shape. So let's go for an oval shape. I know this already. Really not teaching you anything new here. And then you end up because you folded your paper over, 2 for the price of 1. So now I can stick that right in the middle of those eye sockets I just made. And with my good old Sharpie pen that you all know and love, let's see if it's engraved with me. Just like we can then draw my eyes. Oh yeah, look at them now. What should we call them? What should we call my dragon?
I don't know.
You don't know? Right, next up, in Chinese design, you always love to use metallics. So don't be scared to use some gold. If you have gold, you can get like a gold crayon or a pencil. So you're all okay at home? No problems? No paint everywhere? Miss Drysdale says, definitely small group activity. Definitely small group activity. I think you've done this before for your... Did you do this for your love monsters? I can't remember it. Oh, eyebrows. Right, 2021, let's get some eyebrows in here. Okay? What's happened to the pastel?
It got
Got a little bit messy. Right. Oh yeah. Right, what else could we add onto this? I'm not doing another unicorn one. Maria's driving us nuts with unicorns at the minute, isn't she? Now, the examples I showed you earlier use lots and lots of curling ribbon. Oh, I forgot about mine. I forgot about these. You could use these for cheeks, or maybe you could use these in the ears. You could flatten them, or you could cut them in half. So these could get stuck on. You could draw on top of them because they are made of paper. So you put design on that. You know how much Mrs. C loves her design. Shapes, lines, patterns. We turn the most boring artwork into the most expressive artwork. Just a little shape here and there, a little line here and there.
how did you do that?
And a little pattern here and there. So the eyes, honey, I just drew a shape. So decide where would you like your eyes to be? Where would be a natural place for your eyes to be on the dragon? Yeah. So what I did was I just coloured in, yours might still be a little bit too wet, but I just coloured in an eye socket shape with my oil pastel, and then I cut them out with white paper. But if you want, in here, we've got some gold lens. says. We've also got some metallic. We've kept those from yesterday. So you can have that as well if you want. Right, we're totally just jabbering now. I feel like you're probably just wanting to get on with it. So look at that, it's looking brilliant. So I'm probably going to disappear now with Paris and we're going to finish this off. I'm probably getting fed up with hearing my voices now. And what I'll do as per usual is we will photograph and pop on our finished examples once we're done. We'll put it into the folder that I've made. If you have enjoyed this, thank you for joining me. You've made it really great fun. If you've enjoyed it, please let me know. Send me some photos. If you haven't, if there's been any problems, please just let me know. Grandad. You know what Grandad's just said about my dragon? I don't know if I should really say this to everybody. Grandad's just said it looks like Donald Trump. Naughty Grandad. Okay, so if you've got any issues with it or if you didn't really enjoy it, please let me know. I won't take it personally. Next week is a Valentine's special. Give it to me. Valentine's special. So next week, nowhere near need as many resources, but you do need a lot of creativity. All you need for next week, I think this might be the least amount of materials we've ever needed, bless you, is a white piece of paper, a black pen, possibly a ruler if you've got one, a red piece of paper or a pink piece of paper, and some glue. That's all you need. If you have got a white and a black oil pastel for smudging, for some 3D pizzazz, go for it. Or if you've got chalk and charcoal, that would work. Or even just a pencil, a white pencil, a black pencil, that would work. Or a graphic pencil also works. But yeah, just a white piece of paper, small red or pink piece of paper, black pen, some glue, some scissors. That's about it. Be a nice one. We normally do this one in class, so it's a nice one that we do in class. And I'm going to be like I am in class actually. I'm going to give you lots of instructions one by one, and you're going to join in hopefully at the same time, so it's a good one to do live. You can't be done, you've not done a mouth. You have done a mouth. Right, thank you very, very much. I'll see you very soon. Take care.
That's what Sun's done.